Did you listen to Ghetts' album?
I haven't listened to it properly.
Oh.
I haven't. I've listened to... Because I keep saying to people, my life is so fast-paced right now, like genuinely fast-paced. I took on the album and I realised I can't even gauge an opinion on this because it's not that type of album. I meant to sit down, chill, have a conversation with someone, put it on, and then experience it in the environment how I imagined to, or like kind of know they made it because I know the Conflict Boys very well, as well as Naldo. So
that's how I.
Because of that,
that's how I
can't judge it.
That's how I listen to albums a lot of the time from artists that I like. Anyway, when an album comes out, I can't do what a lot of people do within that. As soon as it comes out at 12 o'clock, just listen to it because my mind frame of where I'm at that particular time when it comes out might not be just ready to sit down and just listen to that yet. Do you get what I'm saying? 100. Sometimes for me, I need to tidy my yard and listen to it. Sometimes I might need to jump in the car and go for a long drive. I might have a far booking somewhere, then I can take it in. But the immediate thing, I always find it interesting when an album comes out and immediately 15 minutes straight into the album coming out, people are reviewing it. I'm like, well, that's great. If you are able to put yourself in that situation, I can't do it. I just can't do it. It took me a few days to listen to Ghetts' album.
Who can really do that? Really?
I don't think you can have that.
I don't think. Neither do I.
Nah, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying this is a valid opinion on the full album in 15 minutes, but I'm saying the album drops at 12. I guess if you're I don't know. Actually, I'm not going to say that because I know that you lot will contest that still. But some people, when the album comes out within, this one's cold, that one's this one's that, this one's whack, it's a classic. It's not. It's the classic.
Isn't it? All right. One second. Let me look at it differently.
I need a moment to. I need time, man. Sometimes it takes me days, if not weeks, to listen to a project.
Yeah.
See, Kendrick's Damn, took me months. I just didn't.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Yeah, you're probably. I think
that was just me personally for that album. But typically, I take days to get into an album as well, for sure. Black's new album though.
I haven't listened. I haven't even listened to that yet.
Two plays beginning to end, and I love it.
Is it? Yeah. See, I haven't listened to it yet.
I knew I was going to because I heard.
Because you're a massive fan of him.
Yeah, and I watched the Joe Budden interview with him.
So did I. Yeah.
And he was like, it's on the same wavelength as the previous one. So I was like, all right, I know. So it's gonna be good.
I actually was planning to, but the only reason why I never got to is because this is just me again. Yeah. If I take in an album and I proper like it, all right, and I proper like it in many different surroundings, then I'm kind of almost fixated on it for a while.
Same.
So then I'm just in that mode for time. And with Black, I don't want to talk too much about him because the Americans will do all of that stuff. But with Black, where I would have taken that album in is if I had a booking late in the night and I was driving home, then I would probably put that on more than I would put on Ghetts. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I got a chilled playlist. When I'm on my way home, I got a particular playlist that I like to play for when I'm driving home late in the night. Ghetts' album, I'm probably not going to do that with, but Black's album, I would. It just so happens to be that I haven't done that yet. Do you get what I'm saying? But I took in Ghetts' album when I was, funny enough, when I was on my way to play Top Golf with a couple of friends, It made me drive slower. The reason why it made me drive slower is because I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to listen to it and then have to get out of the car halfway through. I felt like as I was getting into the middle of the album, I just wanted to just hear the whole thing. And I'm a person as well. If I like a particular song, the sound man comes out in me. I'm a serial rewinder. I will rewind. If I like a bar, if the tune drops a certain way, the bass line comes in a certain way, there's a certain bar, anything that tickles my fancy, I'll rewind it. You don't want to sit in the car with me when I'm listening to a new song that I like, I'm
not going to then.
Yeah. There's been times I've rewound a song for maybe like 20 minutes. Literally, I've literally listened to the same song for 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
I'm worse than that.
Is it?
When Love Below Speaker Box came out, I listened to Prototype for a week on repeat.
Serious?
To the point my mum was like, you need to turn that song off.
Oh my God.
I'm talking, it was, in the end, it just became a sound in the house.
Yeah, I hear that.
A song like a sound for a period of time in my life.
It was part of the furniture. It was mad to the point my mum loves the song now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because the song's a banger, but it was my first song on the album that I heard, and I was just like, "This is my song." So Yeah, man, I think I was looking at this whole word opinion, a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on fact or knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in order to gauge a view on something, you need to look at it, I would imagine, for a period of time, although it doesn't say that in the definition. In order to get a judgment, you kind of need to have as much evidence as possible, look at it, and then you can gauge an opinion. Now, this is my problem with judging something in 15 minutes. First of all, the album's longer. And second of all, how are you looking at something but not looking at it, not having all the evidence, but then saying you have an opinion? Because by the definition that I can see here, there's a couple things you need more to make an opinion about an album. That's the reason why I said to you, it'd be unfair for me to tell you how I feel about the Ghetts album, because I haven't listened to it properly and looked at the album for what it is, rather than what I'm looking at it for what I appear it to be. Let me just quickly skim through every single song and no, I don't think that's the way you're meant to listen to this album. Let's listen to the album the way the album's meant to be listened to. Then we can form a judgment on it. And it's really sad that we're in the era where, and even if you're saying something good, genuinely, I think it's really sad we're in the era where someone like Ghetts, who is a massive primary factor in the reasons why I can feed my kids today, someone like Ghetts doesn't get the respect he deserves. And genuinely, I wanted
to talk about that.
I don't want people to take in the album and after an hour say this is one of the greatest projects in the world. I think that's an element of disrespect. This is me personally. I could be totally wrong, but I think that's an element of disrespect.
I agree.
I think you should take away a Ghetts project. This is someone that's been in the game.
I don't
for
think he's one of them.
years.
He's not an artist that you could just do that with.
You can't. And then if you take a look at some of the people that have curated the project to a certain extent, it's the Confect Boys. If you take a look at the catalogue of the Confect Boys,
really? Yeah?
You'll understand. Yeah, Confect and Naldo. You'll understand
shout out to them.
the way they make music. You can't just take it in on a running thing, like the way the Confect and Naldo love music. I can't explain to you.
Can you just, for people who don't know, like what do they do?
So the Confect are they're producers, artists, songwriters, and they work heavily with me with Vibba. They're responsible for a lot of the music we've done with Vibba, especially TJ, and primarily TJ, and then like Miles and Joe are incredible. Sass, incredible. Their older brother Jerry, incredible. You're talking about an incredible group of people. And Naldo is someone I introduced to them that I found out. My friend Dorian introduced me to Naldo. He was a part of a group called Dope and Broke, and then I've seen Naldo's qualities afterwards, and I felt like it was right to connect them and Confect, and they've kicked it off, and now they've done this project. And for me, just the way in which they love music and the way in which they go about their business, man can't listen to this album for an hour and tell me it's a classic. I think that is an element of disrespect.
I can give you my opinion.
The album
I've really
needs
taken it in, but you know what you've just said, what you've just said is key still, because I don't know what their involvement is with every song or whatever it is.
Yeah, maybe not every song.
There was one song in particular. Ghetts is going to come here one day and we're just going to discuss it.
Yeah, I've spoken to him.
I just want to get, is it, yeah? I just want to get this little part out of the way, because this is a little bit geeky, yeah? And I'm not really geeky. And I'm not really a specialist when it comes to this type of stuff. Like, I understand how certain things sound or whatever, but I'm not always good at explaining it, yeah? But there's the mix, yeah? On a song called Window Pane. The vocal mix on it is, when you listen to it on proper speakers, bro, it actually sounds special.
I imagine that would have been like the person to do the mix down.
Yeah, of course.
Involved in that. I don't know.
You don't know. I know. But just like when he comes in and the way that he just says Wayne died, I'm like, whoa. You know, like sometimes Ghetts, like sometimes with his bars really just cut through, especially when he's telling a story, yeah. Like, and on that one, he's telling a particular story, but the production on it, but the vocal production on it, bruv, is just, it sounds extra different. It just sounds, it's got like a, you know, like you have like certain element of seasoning, but then you have like a different, say you go to a Caribbean shop now, yeah, and you get like curry chicken or whatever, and you get like a certain type of curry chicken that you're used to, and you might go to a different place and they add in something just a little bit different, but you can't put your tongue on what it actually is, but there's something different about that. That was one of the songs as well that I just constantly rewound to bits. But anyway,
what amazing,
for me, yeah, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, right? So, Slumdog Millionaire came out at the beginning of the year, innit? That was like one of the single. I don't even know what it was. Like at the beginning of the year, I just remember listening to the radio and hearing Slumdog Millionaire, yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't love it. I didn't like it. It didn't make me.
I feel like I'm lost. Slumdog Millionaire.
I'll play it now.
Fam.
One sec. It's this one. You must have heard it.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I had to leave my house more often. I left my house yesterday. I went to a trap star party. It was amazing.
Oh, was
That's it.
It was amazing.
You know this one?
By Ghetts.
Yeah. Oh, I just wanted to. Alright, one sec.
Oh, I was more impartial to this song.
Okay.
So I didn't
forgot
love
Steph
it.
was in
I
there.
didn't dislike it. It was just a song, and it served the
get you.
purpose it
I
needed
get
to
you.
serve. Do you know what I mean?
I get you.
But that's why.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't make me excited. It just didn't make me excited, but maybe not liking it is a bit strong.
Yeah, it's not. That
Maybe
like
I didn't. Like, it wasn't. Maybe I just. It wasn't. I disliked it, but I
This is
hadn't
where
heard
it
Ghetts
comes
for a little
down.
while, and I'm just like, all right.
Do you know what it is? Remember I said to you earlier?
I'd be happy to not hear it again.
Yeah, so what I said to you earlier about you have an expectancy of people and that's how you become disappointed. I just feel like you expect a certain level from Ghetts, and if it's not to the level that you expect, it's not that it's bad,
Yeah.
it's just not to the level that you expect. So you just sort of go back
Yeah,
to the
of
Ghetts
course.
things that are the level that you expect.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
not to say that's a dead song, because someone else probably fucking loves that song.
Of course, yeah, but that's just always the case.
Do you know where I'm coming from? But
Yeah,
that's
always the
I just
case,
feel like,
innit?
cause me and you, do you know what I'm saying? We're seasons,
always
fam. We
the
know, fam, I can tell you Ghetts bars from like 09, like, so I can tell you if I'm not into a Ghetts thing because
Yeah.
of what it is. But yeah, sorry, Karen, sorry to cut you off.
Black Rose made me intrigued. I thought that was a Kojo Radical song at first, and that made me intrigued. I was thinking, all right, cool. Obviously, I know, even through speaking to him, that I know he's got a project coming along or whatnot. But I'm like, all right, cool. You know, like I get the message and stuff
Sorry,
like that.
pausing. Does your dog snort?
I think a lot of dogs do. You know,
Most dogs do.
Most dogs know.
That is amazing. Sorry,
Yeah.
carry on.
and their fart smelled mad, bruv.
Cuz, don't say that, fam, because I'm sitting right here, fam. I don't even like animals as it is, fam. Why?
They don't fart regular. I don't know if they do actually. I don't have a dog in it, so they don't fart regular. But when they do, it's a mad thing. That's probably why.
Actually.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, that's a whole different thing. I don't want to, you know what I mean. So anyway, but I'm like, you know what? I want to make sure that we're getting some of that. We're getting some of that from Ghetts anyway. Listen to the album, yeah. Pick up the phone. Second song on the album.
That's a banger.
Oh, you heard that one, yeah? Hey, oh my God.
I've replayed that quite a few times.
Quite a few times.
Yeah.
Bare times I played that, replayed that. But then then I realised straight away that we're definitely going into something. But one of my observations with this Ghetts album as well is that for me personally, I felt that on the songs that were not grime, that were more rap orientated, he's rapping better. In my opinion, I feel like he sounds a lot more smoother when he's rapping. You know, like sometimes you get some people that like they can rap obviously, and they can rap, but it doesn't always just sound smooth, and that might be down to a stylistic thing or whatever. But for me, he just sounds a lot more smoother and a lot more comfortable with an 80 BPM, for example, or a 90 BPM, as opposed to a one. You know that 140 is he can do that with his eyes closed. Do you know what I mean? But with an 80 or 90 or even 100, he's a lot more smoother. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, that was my observation.
I agree. I prefer 140, but I agree.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, that's where he specializes at. That's where he's a specialist at. You get some people that are specialists at a certain tempo and then just okay at others. And then you get some people that are a specialist at something and very not good at anything else.
Ghetts is good at everything, but I just have a preference.
Yeah. Houdini, the one with Suspect. Can we talk about Suspect for a minute quickly? Bro,
He's featured
at the
right
end
now.
of the year, if there's any type of list or anything like that, Suspect has to be mentioned, bro.
For me, Suspect has had the best features all year.
Suspect is absolutely, bruv, the bread's too cold, bro.
His features on Jesse James's project for Goat Talk, and he's got ad-libs are ridiculous. His feature on the Wrong Way Round, that was his tune, to be fair, with his verse was ridiculous. His feature on the Skepta, Two Guns, is ridiculous.
Yeah, hard.
His feature on A2's project is ridiculous. Secure the Bag. Like the hook has just got too much sauce. His feature, bro.
Have you heard We Them Niggas? Bruv, with Blade Brown. Oh my. Do you know how much times I played this tune?
I love Blade Brown.
Oh my God, bro. When you get some time, just put that in one of your playlists now.
No, it's not. I don't have playlists because I just listen to. I'm a man. I'm a man that's trying to take
You
it
just
back
search.
to why I like to music. No, I just want to listen to bodies of work.
Okay. All right then. Yeah. Then listen to his body of work then, because it's from his mixtape called Still Loading.
But there's one Suspect tune I've completely forgotten, and it's just
He don't slip.
Bro.
Suspect don't slip on verses, bro. He actually doesn't slip on verses.
the Octavian
and
album.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
My
Shit, I forgot he was on that as well.
break that.
Yeah.
Listen, Suspect's got issues, fam. When I hear that guy, see the tone. Anyway, sorry.
And
Jockey,
he's
I'm
live.
cutting you.
He's
I'm
live.
cutting you.
He's live as well.
Forget the live thing because I'm gonna end up passing out on some tiny temper thing if I'm getting carried out of the fucking venue. Like Suspect is
Suspect
ridiculous.
has to get a
fam.
mention still. And as I said, he hasn't, like, Suspect ain't slipped. But yeah, on Houdini, again, that's a proper banger. And Suspect don't slip on that. Even Chip as well, Shellington Crescent. You hear that?
I have. I'm not the biggest advocate for that. And I
Oh,
understand
that's
why.
one of mine,
But I know why though.
Why?
Because when I hear Ghetts and Chip, remember
God.
what era I'm from.
I know, of course.
I just want to hear
get
140. So you could have given me. I'm
That
just
is 140
biased.
though.
No, I want to hear 140. My 140.
Okay.
I just want
Like
to
for you,
hear
the production you're
man.
more talking about.
Listen, the song is a good song. Let's not take it away. I'm just saying what I want, and because I didn't get what I want, I know it sounds very, very rude. I'm just like, oh man.
I love
so like,
it.
I've got this element of disappointment. Let me get over it. Get back and listen to it again. I realised it's cold.
Nah, you know, yeah, this is like one. I know what you mean actually, because this is not proper 140 still. But
What I
it's
want,
hard, though.
it doesn't stop it being hard.
I know, bro.
But you know what I want.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you as well. Flipping
That's what madness. But you can't do that all the time.
Sir
You've done it before.
Spyro production on it is cold. He produced Pick Up the Phone as well, and maybe something else. But bro, overall, man, I did like that album. There's like with the last one, with the last Ghetto Gospel, and I was trying to work this out today when I was on my way. Yeah. So for me, this Ghetto Gospel I proper loved. Yeah. The last Ghetto Gospel I loved as well, but there was a point in the first Ghetto Gospel where, like, towards the end of the album, yeah, it just wasn't for me. There was just stuff on there that it wasn't for me, yeah. And then it does the same thing on this album, but I liked it more. And I think that maybe either it's just better, or two, maybe it's just the stage in my life that I'm at right now where I can take in certain things. Does that make sense?
Bro, I fully understand. I'm too old for certain things. I accept that.
So like, it's not even that I'm too old. It's just that, like, for some people,
No, I know. With you,
I'm quite particular in how I want an artist to do.
No, I'm not
certain
saying
things.
you. I'm saying with me. Like, so for example, you've accepted you're a certain stage in your life, and it's
Yeah.
just like that's not for you no more. I've just accepted I'm just too old for certain things.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like some things that used to excite me when I was younger, I'm not really interested in anymore.
Yeah.
I just want what I want.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear that. And I'm the same as well, actually, to a degree. And there's certain things I just, like, I'm kind of stubborn in a sense that, or one-dimensional to a degree, where I'm like, I know that you're sick at this, so that's what I want. And I can be selfish like that. Give me that. I like you when you're doing that, so just give me that.
But you know what? You're allowed to be.
Of course. But then if you give me something else and it bangs, I'm on it.
Of course. For me, this is where I differ now.
So I won't.
If you give me something else,
Yeah.
it has to be undeniable for me.
Yeah, I hear you.
And do you know what? If it's good, it doesn't take away from it being good, because there might be a new set of fans that's the reason why they fuck with you.
Alright then.
And it doesn't take away from it being a great song. I'm not that guy.
Alright
I'm
then.
just saying that's what I want. Listen, I've gone to certain Jamaican shops here and I've had chicken and what have you from Curtis, and I love it.
Quick
I go
hard
other places and it's good, but it's just not what I want. It doesn't stop the other place being good, but you see when I go
Yeah, I hear
Curtis in Hornsey,
Yeah.
it's just what I want. I will never go and say the next chicken's not good. I'll never be like,
I
oh,
hear
that
you.
chicken's it. It's great, but it's just not what I want. And that's how I feel about a lot of the music that comes out. It literally has to be like, for example, the reason why I like Octavian is because something is fresh, it's new, it's refreshing to me. It's just like, cuz. But if an Octavian gives me something different 10 years from now and it's not refreshing, I'm just going to be like, maybe I don't want this no more. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And that's not to say I don't want the Ghetts project, because I said I haven't listened to it in the right environment, then I can make a clear judgment. I just know, for example, the Shellington Crescent thing, I knew what I wanted from Ghetts and Chip on that song. I knew fully what I wanted.
Yeah.
And they've given something that I not necessarily want, but everyone on my timeline is going mad for this thing.
Yeah.
So I know it's sick
as well as a
but it's just not for me, that's all.
A good verse man as well.
Oh, let's talk about the verses. The verses are ridiculous. They're just barring. But they are barrers anyway, fam. They're the best.
They're specialists at that. But you know, you just said something as well, yeah, that I can't remember exactly how you said it, but you was like, that is, there might an artist might give you something different that you might not particularly like, but a whole new bunch of people might go to them for that. And you know who made me realise is a specialist at that actually was Drake. And remember I told you that years when we first started doing the podcast, and I was doing some touring. I did like one touring.
Russ.
I know, fucking hell, man.
All right, Drizzy. You look a hotline bling. Well,
yeah, I did like some touring stuff with Conor Maynard, didn't it? Yeah, remember that?
And you told him,
and we were listening to the Drake album. Yeah, he's like, yeah, let's listen to the Drake album. So I'm like, yeah, cool, like let's do that. And then he's just flinging on the slow jams, and I'm thinking, but like he's flinging on the songs that I never really listened to from Drake. I want to hear the bars and that, but he does. Like at that point, he didn't really listen to the bars like that. So that's what made me realize. That's why exactly. So when we go to the shows now, you get some people where when Drake's going out and he's doing it and the bars and all of that stuff, you got me, you know what I mean, singing the lyrics. But when he's doing the slow jam thing, that's probably the part where I sit down a little bit and everybody else stands
up. Doesn't make it not good, you know? Doesn't make it not good.
Of course not.
For you.
It's just not for me.
Did you go to Ghetto Gospel?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right, so that was a really weird place in my life at that point. But one thing I can tell you is that there was a new set of Ghetts fans that were there. They said to me they've got into Ghetts into the past 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So when they done Top 3 Selected, they appreciated it was good, yeah.
Top 3 Selected.
But they didn't appreciate it like me. I'm telling you, when I heard Top 3 Selected, I can genuinely say no song I've seen performed live has made me that excited since that period of time. I've never been that excited.
Yeah.
I genuinely didn't. I was so excited when Ghetts on Top 3 Selected, I didn't know what to do. I was stagnant. I was a fucking fox in the headlights. I've seen other people's live shows, so that's sick. I've seen fucking 2 Chainz and ATL. But you see that feeling of Top 3 Selected?
Mad. And I think as well for us as well, yeah, is that like we fully understand the pain in his mind that he put himself in to even make that record. Because remember, that was when around the time that Viz and that was doing the top 10 list for MTV or whatever.
That
and
was
he wasn't in
before
there.
that though, because I think
he wasn't in it, and he got mad.
He done Who's on the Panel.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
He done it all in like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Listen, you see them times there. If you told me Ghetts wasn't top 1, we are having a full-blown argument. Like, argument. I will argue with you. Like, I was so biased that I didn't even make sense.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Ghetts and Skepta,
Stage Show done and them type of tunes as well. Menace and that. But
a man said I got more 60s in the last year in secondary. But listen, Stage Show done was anyway. Rapid.
I wonder, this is the question that I asked though, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I liked the album. I proper liked it, yeah?
Everyone does.
But this is the thing that I ask, yeah? Is this now, can this, even though you haven't listened to it properly, yeah? And maybe you might have a different answer to this the next time we have this conversation when he comes here or whatever. But can this be the project that finally has Ghetts touring as an artist? Because from my perspective, yeah, Ghetts is doing a lot of like Eskimo dances and stuff like that, yeah? And doing like a lot of pure to the essence type events, but you don't see Ghetts as much doing shows though. Can this be the album that allows him now to tour the country for the year and do more festivals?
I imagine he had toured off the back of the Rookie.
Yeah, of course he did. But it's a bit different
from like
do you get what I'm saying? Like
where he does it, it's all about him. He brings people out, type of thing. I hope so. I don't know.
He did do a tour before, but like you just don't see Ghetts so much as that touring, like as a touring artist like that.
But you know what?
Unless that's just my observation.
When's the last time you done that album before this one?
2016.
So
let me have a look.
That album, we all know how I feel about that album. That wasn't the one for me.
Oh, for fuck's sake, my phone's on airplane, man.
With Ghetts, yeah, for me, I don't know how to give an argument. Is it an objective argument? Is that the correct word? Because I'm too in love with the artistry of Ghetts. I genuinely think he's one of the best musicians I've ever met and I've ever witnessed in my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Like, how people are only saying this.
2015. What? So Momentum 2 was. 2015, yeah.
Like seriously, genuinely, Ghetts. There's a case to say he might be one of the greatest of all time. Like, he is to me anyway. Like, just the fact that we're having this conversation makes me feel uneasy.
Yeah.
I can't lie to you. Like, is this finally the album? Like, what? Like, Donnie just done Ghetto Gospel at Camden the other day, and that's like 10 years old.
Yeah, I know.
So for me, Ghetts has always been able to do whatever. I've gone to Brighton and seen they've tried and sabotage my brother's set, and he bodied the set so mad, man had to pay him respect. So
I accept that I accept that my observation could be wrong. I accept that. But I just think that from the way that I see, the way that I saw it is that, like, at Eskimo Dance, you have to see Ghetts. And at things like that, you have to see Ghetts. You have to. But then I'm like, okay, I'm looking at some of the other, like, people that are doing tours. I'm looking at tours, and I'm looking at, like, the festivals and stuff like that. Although I know he's been doing some festivals, but I'm like, okay.
He also refused to do a lot.
Does he? Okay, so I don't know this. This is information
That's what I'm telling
I don't know. Yeah. So
it's a young man's game. We know this is a young man's game. We understand that in order to do festivals and all of that, you kind of need to play the game a little bit and give them a song that they're going to play at the festivals. We understand that game. I think Ghetts is beyond that game.
Yeah.
I think Ghetts' thing is, this is who I am. I'm not a young man in this no more. I've given you the young man's game thing. I gave you don't phone me just because you got my number to do whatever it needed to do at that time. But I am now Ghetts. I'm a father, I'm a friend, I'm a cousin, I'm a brother. I'm so many different things that I wasn't in the past. This is the best project now that I feel summarizes my lifestyle. And if he doesn't get any bookings in terms of festivals off the back of it, I don't think he'll be totally devastated, because I feel like this is a proud body of work for him. I think music means far too much for him. Yes, we all want to fucking do festivals. Who doesn't? But the good thing about Ghetts is he's going to do festivals on his terms. And I think for me, that lets me know within this world, we still have people that genuinely care about music. Because we're all smart enough to look at music and look at the way it's consumed and see the output and realise a lot of the artists in our scene don't really care about music. And that's not like me being disrespectful. This is my opinion and I could be fucking wrong. But genuinely, the things that you want for music don't make sense to me. Whereas Ghetts, when I speak to him about music, cause a man looked me in my eyes and said, Paul, do you know why I do this? And I'm like, why? He goes, I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else in my whole entire life. This is the only thing I know I genuinely love, barring his family and so on and so forth. So when a man tells you that's his emotional attachment to music, it makes sense that he may not have businesses outside of music. It makes sense that he's not the guy that wants to wear the big chain. He just cares about going studio and making music. And I tell you what,
and riding bikes.
So for me, if this is the album that he tours off and this is the album that he gets festival bookings off, I think he cements himself, for me, in the history of UK music.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like but cements.
Yeah,
we don't go and.
I agree.
Like it's because no one is making an album of this where I've got to say, bro. There's some albums to me, because I don't feel like a lot of love has gone into it, I can listen to it very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
This album here is too. Like, you're talking about. Look at the production outside of the album. The invite was a bus pass. The gallery. There's too much thought in this album for me to just give it an hour and go on Twitter and just try and get some social clout. I'm just not on it.
Absolutely not, bruv. But yeah, like,
fucking love Ghetts.
I weren't surprised at how good it was. I did like it a lot, to be honest with you. It's definitely one of my favourite albums of the year. And I fully agree with you, bro. The production on it's cold. The barring on it is sick. He's rapping better. I feel like he has not taken his foot off the gas in terms of his ability or anything like that. I feel like he probably went into this with a lot of things that he feels like he's probably got to prove in his own mind. And what you said earlier when we started the conversation, sometimes it feels that Ghetts doesn't get that proper recognition that he does deserve. And that's why I just wanted to have more of a long conversation about that. Like, why do you think that is? Like, why do you think? Yeah.
They've always, do you know what it is? It's like we was discussing Janet Jackson the other day.
Oh, she was in the ends, isn't it?
Yeah, she was really in the ends. Janet Jackson, without Michael Jackson as her brother, gets far more recognition than she does with Michael Jackson being her brother. Because when you're comparable, when your direct comparison is so close to you, people gravitate to. But Janet Jackson is no one denies that she's a legend, but we're never going to see Janet Jackson for her sole I personally, because Michael Jackson's her brother.
Yeah.
So when Ghetts came out, Ghetts and Kane, it's like, we're never just gonna look at Ghetts and just say Ghetts. And then on top of like Ghetts and Kane, he sounds like Kane, and then that becomes an underlying theme because the people that are in the foundation of it are saying the same thing, even though it's not the case, bro.
Yeah, that's mad to me.
He's always having to defeat, and then he gets compared to himself. It's like, which we all do to a certain extent, but like,
Ain't you supposed to do that though?
yeah and no, in a sense where in which, if you've been comparing someone to Kano for so long, then they deliver their music, then you start comparing their music to their old stuff. It's like, when do you just listen to Ghetts with fresh ears and say, this is what I think of Ghetts? There's always something else in and around it. Like, genuinely, I think Ghetts, he just deserves clean ears. He deserves people, which is difficult to do, but for you to just put the album on, forget everything and just say to yourself, is this a really good body of work? Because if it is, let's support this. Let's get behind it. We're too distracted by all the things in life that are not significant. But Russ said this on radio the other day, and it's so fucking true. Niggas are out here with bare followers on Instagram. I'm talking, they've got like platinum Instagram accounts, but silver records. Now this doesn't make sense to me.
Wow.
Like, bro, like, how can visually you be more interesting than your Sonics? And these times, that's the only reason why we're meant to follow you in the first place.
Yeah.
And deletes all of his pictures on Instagram, and he just makes it about the Sonics. That's why everything he does is so fine-tuned and so calculated. And
I like that as well, actually.
Like, for me, just me personally, the reason why he probably doesn't get the recognition he deserves is because he doesn't do all the other shit.
Yeah.
He's just about the music. But you know what the killer is? He becomes the winner. That's why he's been here for so long. Because when all of that Instagram, your platinum Instagram account becomes uninteresting, and your silver music, you haven't paid much attention to it, unless you've got businesses outside of this situation here, man just want to look at you visually. Oh, you're not visually interested anymore. On to the next one. Because we're never really here for your Sonics anyway. Well, some of us were, but not enough for you to establish and build a career. Like, that is the problem. Whereas Ghetts has said, for me to have longevity, for me to make sure that I can still go and do a 2,000 capacity show, I have to release music.
Good music.
Fuck all this, like, appearing in a club for like how many racks or doing things that are just outside of the music. Let me make sure that the people gravitate to my music. So even if he never does fucking O2, because it doesn't matter, he's going to have a loyal fan base that will stick by him because he makes good music.
And that's better, man.
Much
I've said
better.
that enough times. If you got a proper, solid, loyal fan base, it's so much better than having that a million casual fans that are just here for a wave right now.
I told you, the platinum
Because after
Instagram.
a while, you can milk it for the peas for the 1 year, but that's that. After that, that's that. Nothing else is coming true.
I'm throwing out
if
my
you
gram.
have the
I'm throwing out my gram.
if you have a consistent, if you have a great fan base and you have a consistent career, you're nice because you can live however your lifestyle is forever plus more. But if you just have one great moment, boy, you have that one great moment and it's gone, and the next minute, you know, depression and all of these things start adding in on that too, because you start reminiscing about all of the glitz and glamour that you did have, that was very short lived. And this is what I feel is almost the dangerous thing with our scene at the moment, yeah, is that like, and I think that this is my opinion, this comes down to guidance a lot, yeah, is that there are like a lot of young bucks right now that are coming through and, you know, like they're killing it, making a lot of money, creating a big buzz for themselves or whatever, yeah, which is good. Ultimately, I'm happy for people that are able to change their circumstances, but also like there has to be some guidance in letting some of them know that, you know what, this thing doesn't always last forever, you know. So make sure you're trying to be smart with some of the things that you're doing with your money, but on top of that, if you can, try to focus on creating a nice fan base so that you can last for a longer period of time. Because if you don't, if everything's just quick disposable, you're going to be disposable too.
That's horrible. I just think, do you know what? This is so mad. I finally have got the thing that I can say is my proudest moment in my whole career.
Barring your kids.
My kids are my life, they're not my career.
Okay. All right, yeah, cool, come on.
Or career, if you can even call it that, whatever it is, this thing here. And I don't know if this is entirely true, but someone said it to me on the phone, and can't lie, fam, I wanted to cry, fam. I was so happy, fam. I don't think I've been happy about anything like that so much. People need to understand, I fucking love the artistry of Ghetts. I can't even explain in enough characters how much respect I have for this guy. Like, this guy allows me to feed my kids, fam, because of him. I love Ghetts so much. And
like,
he told me that, he said the other day in an interview with a caller, how true this is, I don't know. Someone told me, I don't imagine it to be a lie. But he said, like, he almost gave up. He almost gave up. And I came along not knowing this information. And Relentless was setting up this number 5. They was having this number 5 Relentless thing. And we were doing a new season of That's a Rap.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Relentless said, look, we need to get good artists here for people to be aware that we're using this space. So I said to them, instead of going to get the fresh new artists, why don't you get people that have been here for a while so people can understand that it's foundation that comes here. Everyone will come here, foundation comes here. If there's bare kids here, then everyone's going to want to come.
It will last longer.
So, exactly. So I invited like Etta Bond, who went on to go and do events there. There was a few people, and one of the people I invited was Rude Kid and Ghetts, and I told them, look, I want you lot to come down, I want you to meet the Relentless team. I think there's loads of things you can do off the back of it, but for the immediate, I just want to film some content for That's a Rap, but in exchange, like, you'll have, like, you can use the studio for free, and like, you can have unlimited support from a mechanism that is going to be here to support you, for you to grow. Off the back of that, my man's gone and made that project he made with Rude Kid, and he said it single-handedly gave him the buzz again, and then off the back of that, so much things have happened. So just to know that the one of the sole reasons I feed my kids was going to give up on something, and I contributed to him continuing in music, is by far, if this is true, my proudest achievement. But like, nothing comes close. Like, nothing even comes close, which sounds very weird, but cause that's like, I can't even describe it, fam. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like,
no, I hear you.
Donnie came back because of something I done, and now he's released his album, and blood, I'm so happy. I'm so proud of him, fam. And man's in the film intent. Cause none don't even know how happy I am with Ghetts. Like,
Ghetts is one of them people that, like, on a serious one, regardless of anything, I always want to see someone like him win.